Jamie Carragher spoke after the Community Shield about being a bit worried about Liverpool, about the balance. I mean, is that something you sort of shared? Were you a bit concerned watching that game, or do you think that there's more reason to be positive with what they've done this summer?
I mean, as far as I know, they won the Premier League last year. I don't think we should be too bothered just yet. I think players have all come back to pre-season at different times. We know that Crystal Palace are difficult to play against when they beat Man City in the FA Cup last year. So no, I wasn't too bothered. I thought I saw a lot of great signs going forward. I think defensively, I think you need all your best players and everyone out there and playing and being fit. And I don't think for 1 second that Liverpool have got anything to worry about. I think they look really strong. Virgil didn't have his best day in the cup final, but you can count those on one hand since he's been at the club. Not the cup final, obviously the Community Shield. So there's a lot of positives still. So no, I'm not too fussed. And I think as well they're going to probably get Gay in as well before the end of the window. I think that's just going to happen at some point as well. And if they were to get Alexander Isak, I mean, it's not far off one of the best squads the Premier League's ever produced. So let's just see where that goes. But I'm not too fussed at the moment. I think Liverpool are still going to be the team to beat.
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of my next question about, do you think they still need some additions in attack? And Alexander Isak, do you think if they get him in that it would be difficult to see anyone getting close to them this season if they do get that over the line?
Yeah, he's world class, but I still don't know how that's going to play out. It's an interesting one. It's an interesting dilemma for Newcastle. For Liverpool, they've got to go and pay the 150, which is what Newcastle want. Is there a world where he ends up signing a new contract to Newcastle? I think anything is possible. And for people to say there's no way back, there's always a way back. We saw it with Wayne Rooney many years ago when he wanted to, trying to get a move away from Manchester United. It didn't work out, and he's still not been an icon there. So I'm not sure how it's going to play out, this one. Of course, with my Liverpool hat on, I'd love him to see in the number 9 for Liverpool, but I think if that number's still available. But Ekitike is going to be really good if not. So I don't think we're necessarily short. We've got Wirtz, we've got Rio as a young player that's going to come off the bench and have a real impact this year as winning penalties and getting into goal-scoring positions. So if they were to get him, amazing, but I still think they're going to be the team to beat with or without him.
Yeah. Just on Spurs as well, what do you think they need to do between now and the end of the transfer window to sort of be more competitive next season?
Yeah, I mean, they couldn't be less competitive. They tried in the league last year. They were really disappointing. I watched the game on Wednesday night and I thought they were brilliant against PSG. They were aggressive, they were fast, they got after teams, they were very well organised. A lot of the things that we didn't see last year with defensive set pieces and attacking set pieces. So Thomas Frank will do a really good job there. He's a good guy, he knows what he's doing. But I think you still have to be a bit patient here. I think there's a lot to do. You've lost James Maddison, so when they played against PSG, they predominantly like 3 defensive midfield players. They need someone that's going to be able to unlock the door. If they were to get maybe an Eze, I think he'd be magnificent. I'm still amazed that he's not left Crystal Palace and someone hasn't paid up, whether it's Arsenal, whether it's Tottenham. He is a world-class player. He's so talented. I'm amazed that nobody has gone and spent the money on him, and they wouldn't regret it because he's got that lovely confidence when he plays. He's one of the best players to watch, and I think he could play for any side in the world.
So on Arsenal, do you think, obviously they've been so close the last few seasons, with what they've done this summer, bringing in Gyökeres, the number 9 they all wanted, the business they've done, do you think they can do it this season? They can finally win the Premier League or a trophy that Arteta's hasn't got so far?
That's a great. They've got a chance. It gives them a real chance. Gyökeres is going to be good. I think Zubamendi is probably going to be as important because of he's that link in midfield. He's such a brilliant young footballer. Technically good. Receives the ball on the half turn. Every time he gets it, he wants to play forward, and it'll be a really nice, foil for Declan Rice if you want to play with 2 defensive midfield players. I think they've also got one of the best young players I've ever seen in Max Dowman. I've seen him since he was 7 years of age. He's going to make an impact this year at 15 years of age, make no mistake. And then you're going to have players, that like Saka that are just incredible as well if they can keep him fit, because don't forget he missed a large chunk of that season with a hamstring injury. So Arsenal will go really close. They're a good side. They just need a little bit of luck, things to go their way. But it's going to be a titanic battle, I think, between those two. Man City. Obviously, Rodri is nearly fit. They were talking about him even being in the squad, I think, today. Yeah, so if he's back, that's great. And we spoke so much about Rodri, the factor that he didn't play, and that's why Manchester City have been so poor, last season when he picked up that injury against Arsenal. If he were to come back, we'll see how actually, the difference that he can make, and he will make a difference. But I still think they're going to be short. They're going to miss a Kevin De Bruyne type, but it's going to be a great season.
Yeah, is there any team you think could surprise us this year, based on what you've seen pre-season or what they've done in the transfer window?
At the moment, surprise us in a negative way. Forest are going to have a tough season, I think. They're talking about buying a few players in. But the way they did it last year was incredible, and I felt it just went a bit sour with the manager. He needs to start well, because I think the owner might get a little bit complacent, or he might just react a little bit if things don't go well and they don't start well, because he'll be thinking we're ready for the Champions League. Now they talk about spending another £100 million on the team before the window closes, and they did fantastically well last year. Off the pitch, recruitment was amazing. So we'll have to just wait and see. But I would probably say that they could be the surprise in terms of not having a tough season. But in terms of a team that could, I don't know really. I think it will be the usual suspects up there. Palace were brilliant this last few years, and the fact that last season were amazing to win an FA Cup. But no, I think we're going to see the same teams up there.
And just finally, put you on the spot. Who do you think is going to win the title this season?
I fancy Liverpool, and that's not with my Liverpool hat on. I just think they're still the team to beat. It's going to be a tough season in terms of, obviously, what happened with Diogo Jota was just heartbreaking for everybody. So that's that emotion, and you have to take into account for the players that were so close to him, that effect it has on them. So we don't quite know how that's going to play out, and it's going to be an emotional night at Anfield with playing against Bournemouth, because he was loved by everybody, teammates, everyone. Even if you weren't a Liverpool fan, we all had so much respect for how he played the game. So that's going to be interesting to see. But obviously, I'd like to see Liverpool do it again, but Arsenal are going to run them close.